Hello, today we are going to go over homework 3. So, uh, this is homework 3, which uses the same data as homework 2. So, if you have to re-download the data, you need to download the homework 2 data again. Or if you already downloaded the data on your computer, then you can just recycle the same file. So, that is not a problem. Let me read it through. So, we are going to study the same birth weight and smoking relationship, but we are going to include more variables. Two key variables we are interested in are birth weight and let me extend this. So we are interested in birth weight and smoking indicator. So smoking indicator takes 1 if the mother smoked during pregnancy and 0 otherwise. So it's an indicator variable, dummy variable for smoking mothers. And additionally, we include some possibly potentially important variables. One is alcohol, which is 1 if the mother drank alcohol during pregnancy, used liquor in pregnancy, then it takes 1. And NPRE visit is total number of prenatal visits. How many times the mother saw doctor during pregnancy. Okay, and the last one is unmarried. It is another dummy variable. Takes 1 if the mother is not married, right? So marital status. Actually, there are many multiple categories for marital status, like unmarried or widowed, married or divorced. There could be potentially more categories, but we simply separated them as unmarried and others, right? So it is 1 if the mother is unmarried. So unmarried is just one category, and all the other categories are just combined as 0, right? So as usual, what we are going to do here is we are going to our focus is on the birth weight on smoker, right? So we would like to study the effect of smoking on birth weight, but these 3 additional variables are control variables because one possible omitted variable is the mother's well-being, or how much the mother cares about health herself or about the baby, right? So like those unobserved mother's environment, we try to control for that. So we include alcohol, prenatal visits, and marital status. We see how the coefficient changes when you add one additional variable one by one. Okay. This is what you're going to do. Okay, let me go back to PowerPoint. Programming wise, this homework is pretty much the same as homework 2. So pretty straightforward extension from homework 2. But what we are going to do here is making a regression table. What I wanted to show you is making a regression table, not just regression itself. Regression is straightforward. Like we just change one regressor to multiple regressors, but that's just pretty simple. So I don't worry about that. Okay. Now at this time, you want to open your RStudio, right? And then first step is to load data. But as I said, we are going to use the same data as homework 2. So you can just copy the data loading lines from the homework, from your code, right? This is one of the main reasons why you want to save your codes, right? So like programmers typically save their codes, and they can recycle the codes for different purposes. So you are going to get used to that at the end of this semester. So of course, not only for this homework, but like in homework 4 and homework 5, anyhow, you are going to use similar lines. The data may be different, but you can just change the name of the data, and then you may recycle the same code. So this is another very like a huge benefit when you save your codes, and then like maybe in another course later in your research project, you may use the same code by just editing a few lines. Okay. So today, this is my homework 2 code. I saved my own code, and I'm going to rewrite. I'm going to start a new file by clicking this. Click here, and then I'm going to choose our script. So I will start from a new script, but I'm going to copy this much, right? So look at this. So first 2 lines are just annotation, what I'm doing here. So I will just change a few lines, some things like that. And step 1 the same. Working directory the same. You may change homework 2 to 3, but I don't mind. I will just use the same directory. And of course, read Excel. I already installed it, so I'm not going to install it again. So I load the package here, and then I'm going to read the Excel file, import the Excel file under the name of HW2 data. It is up to you. You may change the name to homework 3 data, whatever. Not a big problem. Okay. Anyhow, you may change, like edit a few lines if you want. Like if the directory changes, you should change your directory. File name should be the same. Okay. Straightforward. Not a big problem. Oh, some problem. So regressions, we are going to estimate 4 regressions. Like back to our homework, these are 4 regressions by including additional variables. So basically, in your code, it is just one more variable name, right? That is all. So let me show you. So the first regression will take this form. This is exactly the same regression you did in homework 2. We are going to do the same thing again. And like the data name may be different. So excuse me. Excuse me. What I want you to say is this. I want you to highlight here. Okay. So in doing this, when you want to add another variable, you connect those variables by a plus sign, right? So when you include 3 variables, smoker plus alcohol plus and number of prenatal visits, right? Things like that. So that's all. That's pretty much the same simple extension. And of course, when you include 4 variables, I believe I don't need to write it again, right? So let me do it here. I will start from homework 2 code. In homework 2, find where you have done regression. Here. I will copy these lines, and I will paste them here. Now it is step 2. That's not a big problem. Regression 1, I save this regression model, birth weight, wiggle, smoker, data, homework 2 data. So now, because you changed your data name, I changed my data name, so I have to change it, right? And summary, when you type summary, you can see the result. But my plan is I'm going to copy this line 3 more times and edit here. So I'm going to add more variables here. like this. Okay, this is what you have to do. Just like just separate variables using plus. Okay, that's all you need. If you had more variables, you could include more variables over here, right? And then from here, there are 4 regression, and each result is saved at the corresponding name, like rig 1 or rig 2, 3, 4. So regressions are saved on these 4 names. So to see that, you can just use summary command to show the results. This is all today. This is what we just need to do. Let me see, there might be some error. Let me just see if it works. So I choose all the lines and then run. There might be error. Oh, okay, it worked well, right? Just let me try some, intentionally, I will try some wrong command. Like for example, let's see. I change it. I did not change the name from the previous code. So and let's see what happened. If you use a wrong data name, then so you see object HW2 data not found. So it tells you there is a problem. And also I intentionally made a typo here. So the variable name is nprevist. There is no I here. So not found. You should check the typo like this. Okay. And another thing I wanted to show you is R is case sensitive. So if you use capital letter, let me show you. I will run only this much. Then it does not recognize LM if you use capital letter. So capital uppercase is different from lowercase. So if you, for example, if you capitalize one of them, then it will show you an error message, right? So summary is not recognized. Something is, if you have an error message, first check if there is any typo or if there is any, case sensitive things, right? And the error message gives you hint where it tells you which line has a problem. So here, as you can see, when you reach this line, it tells you an error. So that means there is an error in this line. So that is how you fix bug if you see an error message. Okay, so up to this point, pretty easy. It is just simple repetition of what you have done. So I'm going to get these results. Okay, back to here. So now what you need to do is, based on those results, you are going to make a table, but we are going to make only one table to report all of the 4 regression results. Okay, so first you have to think about how it looks, and like it's in the textbook. Basically, one column is one regression. Typically, there is no kind of science about that, but conventionally, one column is one regression. And of course, we have to have an extra first column that denotes the variable names. So in the end, we are going to have 5 columns. One like label column, and then each column 4 columns for 4 regression results. So we are going to have 5 columns. And then now think about the rows. For each regressor, we have to have 2 rows, because in one row we are going to report coefficient estimate, beta hat. And then in parentheses, we are going to report standard error, right? So each regressor require 2 lines. And after that, we also need to report standard error of the regression and the R-squared and sample size. So we need 3 more lines in the bottom. So that is what you can imagine. Like, you have to make a plan what kind of table it looks like. So this will look like this, right? The main principle is that your table should be self-explanatory, right? So it should contain like almost everything you need to understand this regression result, right? So for example, I described the dependent variable birth weight, and also I described the variable names here. It's pretty straightforward what they mean, and standard error of the regression, R-squared, sample size. Like, anyone who is familiar with regression analysis must be able to understand what you are doing. And here in these places, coefficient estimates will be presented, and below you are going to include standard error within parentheses, right? That is what you need to do in your homework, right? And I will show you how to do that. Like, so today it is more like Microsoft class, okay? Let me zoom this. So like, and I expect you to make a table on word processor. It could be Microsoft Word, or it could be Google document, or it could be like a Mac. I don't remember the name, Mac program. Whatever, does not matter. But the main point is you should be able to make a table, like formally looking, good looking table. That is one of the most important skills you have to learn before you find a job, right? Of course, that's bare minimum as in the job market. Okay. So let me show you how you do it on Word. So I'm going to include like here, insert table, and I know it will take 5 columns. But I'm not certain how many rows I need. I'll just choose whatever, like the maximum, with 5 columns. Okay. And first, you may use like one. So let me show you how to merge. I would like to merge this much, and if you choose, click and drag, and then choose and click the right click, and you can merge cells, right? And then you can say variable birth weight in grams. Maybe this is more formal to show the unit. Okay, and of course I would like to set center, align it to center. Okay, and next I'm going to write, as I said, I will need 2 rows for one variable. So I'm going to merge these two guys. So instead of like this, I will try different things. You may go to this layout, this tab, layout tab, and then after choosing 2 cells, you can just click this. Click this, click this, click this, click this. King indicator, like mother smoking. Right? So something like that. I prefer saying this, but here the description is up to you. You may just use whatever concise and clear. Okay, and in these 4 places, I'm going to copy numbers. In the first regression, the coefficient is here, right? So copy it. Copy these two. You have to copy these two numbers, right? But it is inconvenient to do so. So let me then do it this way. I will open Excel file, and I will copy the results. Copy and paste them here. It's not right, or I will just copy this number here. Okay, let's do this way. Do it this way. So from the first regression, I will copy estimate and standard error. And from the second regression model, where there are smoker and alcohol, I copy estimate and standard error for smoking variable. Okay. And third, in the third regression, where smoker, alcohol, and pre-visit are included, I also copy smoking variable's coefficient and its standard deviation, standard error. And finally, in the fourth regression, I copy smoking and standard error, right? So these four will enter. Let's see what happened. Sorry, word. So we will include those numbers here, okay? And also I'm going to copy those numbers here and write in this way. Anyhow, you have to type parentheses by yourself. Here, I would round it to the second decimal place. So this is how you make a table, right? You can align this to center. And now do the same thing. Let me do the same thing. I will try similar but different method. So in the second variable, we are going to use alcohol, like mother's alcohol use. And if use alcohol, drink alcohol. So we are going to include numbers there. And similarly, I'm going to copy those coefficients. But now there is no alcohol variable in the first regression. So we start from the second regression, where you get alcohol and its standard error. In the third regression, alcohol, standard error. In the fourth regression, alcohol, standard error. So this is it, and I'm going to copy them, and I will include them here. Okay, so the difference is I realized that you don't need to merge the cells before I copy those numbers. So because we are using Excel table, basically it is a table, so it is more efficient to keep the divided cells here. Anyhow, and then now you may merge like this. So merge. Even if you merge them, still the contents, what you wrote, does not go away, right? And of course, in standard errors, you have to put parentheses. Okay. And keep doing that. I will just complete what I do. You may you may skip the video if you if you can do it by yourself. I will just do it. Now, what I'm copying is for the number of prenatal visits. Okay. So you get the number of prenatal visits. Okay, and merge, 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 and okay, and then you want to add more rows. In that case, you may just, insert this one. Click this one. On Layout tab, insert below. Just if you click more, then a row is added below. So easy to do so. And the last one has only one estimate. Okay. Here, the variable name is I'm going to write it this way. And again, merge, 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 merge. Okay, and I will align them to center. Okay, why? Why doesn't work? Okay. And another very small tip is like I want to extend this column, but these columns does not need be that long. So choose these columns, and if you go to layout, you can find distribute columns. So I make those 4 columns equally wide, but the first column is wider, right? And another thing here is I would like to set the vertical alignment to center, right? So that the space here and there, space on top and bottom are equally distributed. Okay, this is the coefficients, and then you may include intercept or constant, whatever. Also, you can include those numbers. Intercept numbers are given. I'm going to skip that. Let me just write like if you do it, you have to do it correctly. I'm just saving time because it is so tedious. So right, you're going to do this. And the bottom 3 lines, I'm going to include standard error of the regression. And here, r squared. By the way, I will also show you how to include mathematical equations. Insert and go to equation. There should be another tab here. If you just click here, and then you're going to see a new panel, equation editing panel. Think about that. We are going to use the problem when you type r square, you need to enter superscript. So here you can find different forms, fractions, superscript and subscript, and both are radical, integral, like summation, brackets, sine, cosine, and accents, limit, matrix. There are different mathematical forms, but we are going to use this one. This is all we need. And click here, type R, and click here, type 2. This is how you enter a mathematical equation. So copy that, and sample size is the last line. Okay, from R, you can find, okay, let me do it again. Standard error standard errors are reported here. Residual standard error. This is a standard error of the regression. So I will copy this from the first regression. And then R square. I'm going to report adjusted R square. I will include that here. Copy that here. And often TF statistic is also reported in many cases, but our textbook does not show that, so I'm not going to do that. For the second regression, copy standard error of the regression and adjusted R square. And the third regression, standard error and adjusted R square. And here, this one. So sample size is not given here. Instead, only the degrees of freedom is given, right? It's like 2,000, more than 2,000. But or you may find the number of the sample size here, right? So 3,000 observations is our sample size. It's already given in our data description. So you may use 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, something like that. I will copy them and include here. And actually, I forgot to mention adjusted R square. Okay, this is how you make a table. You have to do this in your homework, right? So again, it is not about your grade. Like, you are practicing an important skill, right? So you have to, if you want to decorate the table, that is great. But by the way, do not overdo it, right? Usually, the point is you want to make it informative and formal, like to your boss, right? When you in your career, you have to show your boss nice and clear presentation report. So this is how you do it. And additional things. For example, I wanted to put a double line here. It would look better if I put double line. Then I'm going to choose this row and go to, let me see, table design, right? And border style. You may, here, let me put it this way. Here I will use double line, right? This is the double line. Choose this and choose top line, top border. Because I selected this row, I only wanted to edit the top border of that choice, right? Also, it would look good if I double line here. When you if you choose bottom border, it look like this. Okay. So a few more additional tips is like, usually I do not include. I do not include outside borders. By doing so, it just looks better, right? Okay, let's do this way. Choose all table and outside border is deleted. So this is my preferred style when I write a paper, right? Or you may want to delete this middle line, then no border, choose inside border. Then I deleted this line. So it's up to you. You may want to do it as you whatever you think look better, right? By the way, I don't know why it is so wide here. Let me choose these lines and layout, distribute rows. Then you will equalize the height, right? And finally, one more thing. Oh yeah, I forgot a very important thing. here. So the stars, it is standard in the convention to put 3 stars if the significance is below 1%, and 2 stars below 5%, and 1 star below 10%. By the yeah, p-value, if p-value, the smaller the better. The smaller p-value is the more significant, right? So smaller than, this means this is smaller than 2 times 10 to the exponent of minus 16. So you have to put 0.0000016 times. So p-value is really, really small. So in the first regression, intercept and smoker are whose p-values are smaller than 1%, 0.01. So I'm going to put 3 stars in here. Of course, you have to have your own value here. I just didn't do that out of laziness. And in the second regression now, these two are still pretty significant, but the additional one, alcohol, is not significant. It is 46%. So it is not significant. So I'm going to put 3 stars here and here. It is not significant, right? And final touch, I'm going to keep the same decimal points, decimal places. I'll maintain the same decimal places across cells. So I'm going to round round to the second decimal place, like that, so that it looks better. I believe you can round without, computer, without calculator. In the third regression, I see three significant variables except for alcohol. So this one, and this one. And the last regression, also all significant except for alcohol. So this, oh no, not this one, excuse me. This. So this is typically how you report the significance of a coefficient. So then by putting more zeros, you are telling your readers to pay more attention to these numbers. By the way, when I copy, the font has been changed, so Calibri, so that all look the same. Okay. And one more thing. Oh yeah, one more thing. Another thing here is in your paper, we are going to use its name or caption. For example, just choose anywhere on table and go to References tab. References, and insert caption. Caption is a small note, comes below, like you may choose below or above. I usually prefer below. So table 1 is the name of this table. Of course, it is not equation, not figure, it is table, so numbering is table. Then you see small number, small font text here, and I say the dependent variable is, like I explained that. The standard errors are reported in the parentheses. Something like that. Or in this specific case, actually you don't need to make the sample size as a separate row. Basically, it does not change across models. So I'm going to just delete this. I will delete this row, and just say sample size is 3000 for all models. Something like that. This is useful. If you want to, like, usually there should be more information, like the table reports the ordinary OLS least squares estimate result. Something like that. So you want to explain the basic things to the readers. Again, the thing is, when you read this this table, your reader should be able to replicate exactly what you have done. You have to specify the details if you use a specific methods. So that is the main things, like, or the data are drawn from Stock and Watson, like introductory econometrics. So the source of the data should be also stated, things like that. So this is the formal regression table. Making this table is what you have to do in this homework. Okay. Back to the slides. That is just what I wanted to say, and yeah, I just explained that. Put stars on significant results, and some tips that I mentioned earlier. And this is not all. Like there are more follow-up questions to interpret those results. So you have to also do that. Okay. Okay. This is all. Good luck with Glock, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay. See you later.